In a single line, what Signa X is doing is we are building metaverse infrastructure for the next billion users. More on this will be uncovered in the later parts of the presentation. Quick introduction of our team. Adhikar, my co-founder, comes from the world of finance, technology, and innovation. He's done his master's in digital innovation at the LSE, where he studied blockchain and other emerging technologies, which becomes a sound foundation for the venture that we're building. He's an alumnus of the London School of Economics, and so am I. I come from the world of startups and innovation, where I've always looked at taking new technologies to market, helping startups launch their businesses, and scale their innovations. My exposure to the current startup has been through my role at Meta, where I was heading the startup and developer programs, primarily responsible for engaging with startups in the immersive reality or the AR VR space, where I used to work with a lot of game developers and designers, and putting our combined knowledge together, we've identified an opportunity, what we call as Signa X, in terms of the opportunity that we are looking at is the fact that metaverse is going to be the next $1 trillion opportunity. That's something that people have spoken about. Of course, there's they talk about different numbers, but primarily what we are saying is the future of work and interaction and community is going to be in a virtual world kind of an environment, what we call as the metaverse. People are going to be there, for their entertainment, for their education, for even virtual healthcare to some extent. I think this is the big opportunity that we see, and there's a lot of ecosystem that needs to be developed in order for the metaverse to come out as a really immersive virtual world. Even brands are now launching into the metaverse, and with 3D advertising coming into play, that's something that is going to be launched on Roblox as of next year. We see a lot of tailwind for metaverse as an opportunity in itself. Now, in terms of our thesis, we believe that metaverse and GameFi projects are primarily going to be built using 3D models, or we call it as 3D assets and experiences, because the current Web 2 is built on 2D models, 2D experiences, so to say, and then the Web 3 is primarily being built on a more immersive layer, which is of which 3D models become the basis. However, we've kind of identified the problem that metaverse and GameFi projects today are unable to provide immersive 3D experiences for the next billion players. It is there. We go on Decentraland Sandbox. Even Meta, for that instance, had launched, but I think it's a space that is evolving. And for a world that is going to be primarily based on immersive experiences, it is currently not there yet. So our thesis at Signa X is to see how we can enable and fast track this development of more effective, more immersive 3D models. I think the key challenges why this is happening today is there are limited in-house teams for a lot of these gaming and metaverse projects. So there are hardly 10 to 15 3D creators who are in the team. And if they need to scale to thousands of assets and experiences, because the number of players are exploding, but the experiences are currently limited, or the assets are limited, and therefore the cost of these assets is quite high. And that's also in turn prohibiting newer players from entering these gaming projects as gaming worlds as well. This is happening primarily because of limited in-house teams of the gaming and metaverse projects. They also have lack of access to skilled 3D creators because it involves a lot of detailing and experience in order to develop these 3D models. There is currently a lack of access. So that is one of the key problem statements. And the other problem is that there is a lack of clear monetization path for some of these 3D creators in the metaverse and Web3 worlds. If you see, the problems are on both sides, and that's something that through Signa X we're planning to tackle. Signa X is the 3D asset, and asset creation and leasing platform for the metaverse and gaming worlds. The way we are doing it is we are working on bespoke 3D asset creation for all these metaverse and gaming projects through our creators. And we're also curating some of the assets, 3D assets, which can be used in these metaverse and gaming environments. The process is quite simple. We partner with a metaverse or GameFi project. Then the request is posted on the platform, which goes to our creators. They then pick up the project and start building custom 3D assets for as per their requirements. And these assets are minted on chain and transferred to the respective project. So we are doing some innovations in the space of minting and leasing, because currently there's a whole conversation around interoperability of digital assets. That's something that we're also trying to solve through Signa X, where we are not only building the 3D models or the 3D assets, but also bringing them on chain and seeing that they can be used in different environments, different blockchain protocols as well. In terms of some of the digital assets that we're creating are characters, power-ups, utilities, and environments as well, like virtual lands, virtual buildings, in terms of development and all of that. These are some of the key types of assets we're working on. In terms of the business model, we have multiple revenue streams. So we are quite a scalable platform to the extent that projects come in and share their requirements and the creators work on them directly. But also we have a list of fees that I want to cover quickly in maybe 30 seconds. So there is a minting fee that happens whenever a creator uploads their assets. Whenever a creator translates their 3D model into an NFT, there is a sort of minting fee. Even if a project wants to transfer an NFT, for 3D model, there's a minting fee. There's a leasing fee as well in case some of these, creators want to lease out their assets and not necessarily sell them. And then there is a marketplace fee as well, where if the assets are sold through the platform, there's a fee for that. And we've introduced a facilitation fee for slightly high-end projects where some sort of intervention, project management intervention is required. We don't get involved directly into the project, but we assign a dedicated manager to kind of help the projects work with the creators. And then there is a finder's fee. In case projects want to directly work with the creators, we also help them out with that. And yeah, these are some of the screenshots of the platform. In this we've covered pretty much a few things like linking of wallets, minting of assets, but this is just one segment of it, but it does not have it does not show the interface that we've created for 3D creators as well. And then, yeah, in terms of key traction, we've raised pre-seed funding from BFG. We've onboarded 200 plus 3D creators from across 10 plus countries, and we've received early interest from different kinds of players, such as GameFi projects, fashion multiverse, and even a metaverse platform to kind of jointly develop 3D assets and experiences for these platforms. And in terms of working with different creators, we've had some amazing experiences of creators from different and diverse backgrounds that we're working closely with. On this note, we'll just sort of summarize the entire presentation with the kind of vision that we have. We want to work with 1,000 plus metaverse gaming projects, metaverse and gaming projects, and provide in-game and digital assets for almost over 200 million players in the next few years. So yeah, on that note, we'll pause and thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much. Very impressive, super exciting topic. And I think you're hitting the right angle to approach the problem of everybody wants to go and have a great experience on some kind of metaverse, but someone also has to do the decoration. Let's put it like that. One question, can you tell a bit about how the landscape looks like when it comes to how all the Decentralands and gaming 3D virtual worlds operate today, and where they get their assets from today, and what the competition could look like?
Yes, thanks. So, Sandro, thanks for the sort of comments. In terms of Decentraland, Sandbox, Roblox, these major metaverse environments that we metaverse worlds that we're talking about, they have their own formats for creating these 3D assets and experiences. And They are today sourced from various gaming studios who are onboarded as creators on the platform. So it's kind of expensive because a lot of these gaming studios employ large resources in putting together these experiences, and therefore the cost of even buying a car or a small land or a building or through these marketplaces is quite high. It ranges anywhere from as little as $300 to it even goes to $30,000. So that's something which is not feasible for an average player to enter the metaverse per se. So yeah, I think that's where there's a whole movement that is coming around. Even what we're also looking at is the next set of metaverse projects and games. So traditional Web2 games who want to enter the Web3 world and make themselves as a play-to-earn game. We are providing that layer of a marketplace to them as well, where our creators create some of these in-game experiences for these projects, and they can also list it through our platform. So we're kind of working on that kind of segment as well. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. And one follow-up question: would you more focus on the kind of the matching part, like a Fiverr.com for the metaverse, or more like on the payment and settlement and royalty fee layer? Do you have a preference?
Yes. Yeah. So I think the matching part is only the entry point into the platform. But I think at the core, we are a Web3 platform where there's a lot of innovation that is going on in terms of not only like bringing these assets on chain into the so one is bringing them on chain and even dispersing leasing out these assets. So we've integrated the ERC 4907 protocol through which some of these creators can directly lease out these assets. So it becomes a very clear monetization opportunity for the creators in a Web3 format.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, also a question from my side. Maybe I'm a little bit obsessed with competition today, it seems, yes. But also in your case, yeah, because I think it's always important to have like these things on your radar in terms of like kind of the threat level coming forward kind of direction, especially since we're in early stage mode, right? A lot of these companies, they already have a lot of funding. So the question is always to what extent are these like features they can enter their platforms? Like, so how likely is it that they could move into certain areas, certain features, and how fast could they do so? Like, I think this is one of the reasons why we always care about the competitive landscape. How do you look at it from your perspective? Because there is a lot of like NFT marketplaces with lots of funding and firepower. I mean, if we talk about the gaming space, obviously one company invested in ourselves, which is Venly. There's not from the US called Fractal. It's from the ex-founder of Twitch after he had an exit. So he founded that one. I saw that they recently integrated games, which is quite insane. I think most people don't know this yet. So if you go on Fractal, you have 3D games that you can experience in browser, which is kind of a new trend or technology itself. Who do you think comes closest to what you're building? Like, who are you most afraid of at the moment?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about the types of competition that we have today, and currently indirect, and I will come specifically to competitors as well. So there are three kinds of entities who we indirectly compete with. One is the freelance platforms, as you would call it, the Fiverr or the freelancer.com or whoever. They have access to some of these 3D creators today, but they're currently not curated or rated to the extent where to the quality level of which required to build for a metaverse or gaming world. Then we have the second aspect, which is purely in terms of a marketplace. So marketplace range from 3D models to NFT marketplaces where it could be Unity Asset Store to even say the traditional NFT marketplaces. So the biggest challenge with these marketplaces are twofold. One is that the lack of curated assets for metaverse and gaming environments, because these are just some creations created by these 3D creators and put out there. It could range anywhere from digital artwork to some sort of model which came out of a figment of their imagination. So these assets are not for a better word relevant as relevant for a metaverse and gaming project, and the fact that they're also not very scaled. So these are all one size fits all kind of an asset which really doesn't add value to that. yeah, and then finally we also look at
also Benjamin, on the marketplace side today, if you have a look at it, it's more of a YouTube model, right, where people upload these assets and the discoverability is very difficult. Like someone has to come and check. But here we are bridging that gap where we are partnering with specific metaverse and gaming guilds to channelize the demand as well, and that is where we are seeing this motivation from creators to join our communities, because let's say we are the Netflix where we are curating and giving, rather than being a YouTube where someone uploads their asset on this Unity asset store and they hope and pray that someone will look at it and probably buy. So that's the demand supply matching which we are focusing on.
And finally there are these gaming studios and as well, which are more of an agency model that we don't relate to. So yeah, I think these are the three different types of people who are in a similar space, but where we come in is the fact that we are taking a sort of a comprehensive look at the ecosystem and trying to solve the problem specifically for the metaverse and gaming worlds with the element of Web3. I think that is definitely missing in, say, a freelancer model or a freelance platform or even a gaming studio today.
Cool. Very last question from my side. How did you develop the solution so far? Is it only you? Who's having that more technical role? With whom are you collaborating with?
Yeah. So Aakarsh, serves as the CTO, and he's kind of built the MVP till date. It's actually a live platform where all the creators are working on, and there are projects already onboarded. Would be happy to show a demo sometime. Yeah.
Cool. Very, very nice. Let's keep in touch, and thank you very much.
Thank you.